My female boss refused to book my flight for a $5 million deal. She mocked me, saying, "Why bring dead weight?" Well, but what she didn't know was this. The client's CEO is my brother. I just smiled and said, "Good luck at the meeting." My boss refused to book my flight for a $5 million deal, insulting me with, "Why bring trash, lol?" But I knew something she didn't. The client's CEO is my brother. I just smiled and wished her luck in the meeting. "It's a $5 million deal today. Do you think I should carry the trash?" Jade's words left me speechless, her triumphant giggles echoing on the phone before she hung up. She'd planned this, but she didn't know my brother runs the client company. I called him and added myself to the flight list. I'd put up with her petty harassment long enough. It was time for Jade to face reality. I'm Mary Walters, a sales ace at a trading company. My proposals are praised, and I consistently hit top sales thanks to my positive attitude, people skills, and deep product knowledge. I'm even called the ace of the sales department. It wasn't always easy. Fresh out of high school, I made many mistakes. My lack of product knowledge led to unhappy clients and failed negotiations. I used to hate studying and tried to rely solely on my charm. I skipped college, eager to work immediately. Growing up, I was always compared to my brilliant brother. No matter how hard I studied, with tutors, cram school, sacrificing playtime, I could never match his grades. My parents' praise for him felt like a subtle judgment of me. I scored below 600 on my SATs, while he nearly hit 1600 and got into a top university. I just couldn't measure up and felt like a constant disappointment. That's when I gave up on studying. I just wanted the misery to end, so I jumped straight into work. I thought I could escape studying by leaving school, but society demands constant learning. I hated it until one day I suggested a product that better suited a customer's needs than what they initially wanted. Seeing his grateful smile changed everything. I realized studying could help people, make them smile. That's when I truly started enjoying learning. I devoured product knowledge, more than anyone else. My current sales success is a result of that effort. But good results often attract unwanted jealousy. Recently, that came in the form of Jade. She's 26, like me, and joined our company 6 months ago. Reportedly, she was a top salesperson at a rival company. I was assigned as her trainer. "Nice to meet you, I'm Mary Walters. I'll be training you, Jade. Feel free to ask anything." "Really? You're my trainer? You seem kind of unreliable. Are you sure this is okay?" Jade said, clearly dissatisfied, mocking me with her confident gaze. I disliked her from that first moment, but work is work. I took my training duties seriously, teaching her everything, even the importance of a thank you note with shipments. "Mary, are you really using such an inefficient method? Unbelievable. This product is more popular than that one, so it's better. You should know that, just by thinking logically." She constantly made condescending remarks. Sure, thank you notes take effort, and some might toss them, but others appreciate the gratitude for choosing our product. And about products, customer needs trump popularity. Suggesting a sugary fruit for someone seeking vitamin C just because it's popular is bad sales. Recommending acerola, packed with more vitamin C than lemons, shows better understanding. My approach is to engage customers, understand their needs, and adapt. Popular items aren't always the best fit. I didn't think my approach was so bad it deserved ridicule from a superior position. Even if I believed I wasn't wrong, her constant criticism hurt. A month into training, the sales results were announced. I was top performer, as usual. Everyone clapped, except Jade. She glared, biting her lip in frustration. From then on, her behavior worsened. When I tried to teach her product knowledge, she'd sneer, "You're such a nerd for remembering all that detail." She even spread rumors I used my looks to get sales. Luckily, no one believed her, but her malice was shocking. What had I done to make her hate me? Her training period was only a month, so I thought she'd leave me alone. I was wrong. Her harassment continued. At first, minor things. My pen disappearing, sticky notes gone. I dismissed them as misplaced or blown away. But when my schedules on the company app were deleted, I knew it wasn't my imagination. Then, documents in the shared folder vanished. Faxes and mail addressed to me ended up shredded. Customer calls were abruptly cut off. I was clueless until one day, during a suddenly disconnected call, I saw her. Jade, with a smug grin, holding the unplugged phone cord. Of course, this interfered with work and inconvenienced customers. I asked her to stop, but she just sneered. Do you have any proof? Don't accuse me without evidence. It's really annoying. You're so paranoid. I had seen her, but I had no proof. She laughed at my silence. See? No proof. Just because you have good results doesn't mean you can get cocky. For the trouble you've caused, I hope this makes up for it. Then, Jade reached into my bag beside my desk. I was so shocked I just stared as she pulled out my wallet, took two $20 bills, and tossed it back. Thanks for the bonus. If you keep this up, you can accuse me all you want. Laughing loudly, she walked away, leaving me stunned. This harassment was too much. I consulted my boss, but without proof, he said he couldn't act. Even with proof, if there was no malicious intent, it would be considered a mistake, so he couldn't reprimand her harshly. Still, he did caution Jade, though it clearly wasn't strict enough. As a result, Jade resented me even more. From then on, she harassed me almost daily. My schedules were deleted. Documents disappeared. Redoing work meant more overtime. My hours doubled. To avoid call issues, I told customers to email for non-urgent matters, citing office phone problems. It was inconvenient but better than being cut off. For shredded mail and faxes, I checked the bin multiple times a day. It was a waste of time, but losing a customer's trust by not receiving their correspondence would take far longer to fix. Trust is hard-won, easily lost. Jade didn't seem to get that. I endured Jade's harassment for 5 months. Then, something decisive happened a few days ago. I was chosen as the main contact for a major medical device manufacturer. This deal, worth $1 million, would secure my sales target for the quarter and put me on the promotion track. For such a big account, I'd have support. I planned to choose a trusted colleague, but Jade enthusiastically volunteered, convincing my boss to assign her. I didn't think we could work well together, but it was work. I hoped we could be professional. She provided no support. Instead, she sent materials for her preferred products to the client without my permission. A colleague discreetly tipped me off, thankfully preventing a major issue. I quickly called the contact person, casually mentioning I'd sent some additional materials they might find interesting. I briefly explained the differences between what Jade sent and what they originally inquired about, using the opportunity to identify their needs. Then I arranged a detailed discussion. Thanks to my colleague, Jade's premature actions didn't cause problems, and the client was receptive. On the appointment day, I presented the inquired products and, based on our prior conversation, recommended others. During the discussion, I uncovered more of their latent needs and offered products that were a perfect fit. This is my usual sales approach. Fortunately, the client appreciated it, enjoying the detailed pros and cons, finding the best fit for their company. We narrowed it to 3 final candidates, agreeing they'd consult with higher-ups. 2 days later, the contact person informed me they decided to order one of the products. After discussing quantities and terms, I prepared a quote for $5 million. Jade's eyes widened when she heard. Wow, that's a huge deal. I guess they went with the product I sent the materials for, right? Let me see the quote. She snatched the estimate, her smirk freezing as she read it. Naturally, the chosen product wasn't hers. It wasn't even one of the final 3. Her promoted product hadn't met the client's needs, like asking for a red vegetable and getting an orange bell pepper. Close, but not what they wanted. Looks like it didn't quite match their needs this time. Jade, could you book our flights? We're scheduled for a direct meeting with the client in 2 weeks. Let's go together. At my suggestion, Jade immediately grinned. I thought she had finally calmed down. But on the day of the meeting, I was stranded at the airport. The meeting was at 1 p.m., a 3-hour trip each way. I planned to meet Jade directly at the airport, an hour before departure. She didn't show up. I was supposed to get my ticket from her. 10, then 15 minutes passed. I called her repeatedly, no answer. I worried something had happened, but also about missing the flight. I headed to the counter, explained the situation, and asked if I could still board. That's when I discovered it. Only Jade's ticket was reserved. Mine wasn't. Pale-faced, I called Jade again. After several rings, she picked up. Sorry, I was busy with the boarding process and couldn't answer, Jade said nonchalantly. Jade, they said there's no reservation under my name for this flight. What's going on? Panic and anger made me raise my voice, but Jade just laughed, clearly enjoying herself. Today is a $5 million deal. Should I bring the trash along? Her words made my mind go blank. I heard her gleeful laughter before she ended the call and turned off her phone. She had planned this from the start. But there's something Jade doesn't know. The client company's CEO is my brother. I put myself on the standby list for the next flight and called my brother, Kyle. I had tolerated Jade's petty harassment long enough. It was time for her to face reality. Both the next flight and the one after were fully booked. I was stranded. Then, at 1 p.m., meeting time, my phone rang. Gee. The call came much sooner than I expected. Suppressing my laughter, I answered. Hello. Where are you right now? We're at the airport. You should know exactly where I am, I replied. Jade, you didn't reserve my ticket. Jade was momentarily speechless. I could almost hear her grinding teeth. Just get here quickly. The client CEO says that if you don't come, the deal is off. Jade's panicked voice echoed, and in the background, I heard a familiar tense voice. Jade responded, and a video call invitation appeared. My brother must have told her to switch. As planned, I accepted. Jade's pale face appeared on screen. She turned to look at me, her face growing even paler. The CEO and the manager. Why are both of you with that trash at the airport? Seeing Jade's confusion, I stifled my laughter. Why were the CEO and manager there? Simple. I had called them. My company is one of several founded by my great-grandfather, a retail business that grew into a steel company group with numerous subsidiaries. My current CEO is my father's younger brother, my uncle. My great-grandfather was a shrewd businessman, building a major corporation in food, fashion, telecommunications, and logistics. My brother, despite this environment, started his own company and within 10 years climbed to the top of the industry. As a child, he was often called the reincarnation of our great-grandfather. Now I understand why I could never measure up. Back to this morning. After Jade abandoned me, I called my brother, the client CEO, and my uncle, our company CEO. Of course, I also informed my supervisor and department manager. It was only natural to report that the person in charge couldn't attend such an important meeting. I informed my uncle before my superiors did. This $5 million deal was significant. When chaos ensued, my brother said, "Let's teach the fool who came without the person in charge a lesson." With that, even the CEO and manager decided to join. Calling someone's sister trash is quite disrespectful. My sister, this trash, is the CEO. I heard my brother's displeased voice. Jade blinked in surprise. My brother glared at her, but Jade, not noticing, lit up and became even more smug. So you were favoring her because she's your sister, Kyle? That's not good for the company. Look, I've brought a new proposal. This product is much more popular than the one that Trash suggested. Enough. Jade started her sales pitch enthusiastically, but my brother's angry voice cut her off. I heard that after an inquiry, our staff received a brochure for a product that didn't meet our needs. You sent it, didn't you? Our staff was puzzled, thinking the person in charge wouldn't send such a thing, and now I understand why. What? There's no way it didn't meet your needs. This product is really popular. So what? No matter how popular it is, if it's not what we need, it's useless. My sister, the person in charge, patiently worked with us, genuinely understanding our problems and solutions that suited us. She clearly explained both the advantages and disadvantages of the products. We decided to do business with your company because we believed we could have an honest relationship with her. If you plan to replace her with someone like you, who only sees things superficially and pushes popular items without understanding the client, we will cancel this deal. Hearing my brother's angry voice, my heart swelled. I never imagined he thought so highly of my work. Knowing his true feelings warmed my heart. I deeply apologize. It's my responsibility for not supervising my subordinate properly. Our company has no intention of replacing the person in charge. We sincerely apologize for taking your time today. Could we possibly reschedule? We will ensure that Mary will be there. Hearing my brother's anger, the manager and CEO kept apologizing. Jade stood there stunned and pale, not expecting this outcome. My brother then said he would let it go for the sake of the manager and CEO, finally resolving the situation with both sides relieved. Jade returned to the office immediately. Just before hanging up, the manager's angry voice echoed. I faintly heard Jade's gasp. Jade, ordered to return immediately, came back to the office after business hours. She entered the sales floor where the sales manager and I were waiting. Jade looked exhausted, her face a mess, but I didn't feel sorry for her. It was her own doing. What is the meaning of this? As soon as Jade returned, the manager angrily confronted her. He looked ready to grab her. Sir, I was set up. Please believe me. Jade, with tears in her eyes, clung to the manager, pressing her chest against his arm and pleading. How? The manager asked, not entirely displeased. Jade lowered her face sadly but gave me a wicked smile. She was plotting again. The truth is, Mary ordered me to go alone today. I told her she was the person in charge, but she said I was being impertinent for not obeying her. Even though I'm a new hire, she threatened to harass me until I quit if I refused. Is that true? The manager looked back and forth between tearfully pleading Jade and me. Of course not. What she said isn't true. I firmly denied it. That's not true. In fact, I've been the one getting harassed by Jade. You're just making things up. You don't have any proof. Jade repeated her earlier words, smirking smugly, probably thinking she had me cornered. I smiled sweetly at her. I do have proof. Jade's voice sounded foolish as she reacted. Ignoring her, I pulled out my phone and opened the latest audio file, a recording of my conversation with Jade at the airport this morning. The exchange played, "Today is a $5 million deal. Should I bring the trash along?" The manager's eyebrows shot up. So it was you, Jade. You're the cause. I never said that. It's fabricated. Oh really? Then is this also fabricated? I continued playing more audio files, each containing rude remarks Jade had made to me. Both the manager and CEO frowned in displeasure. And that's not all, Jade. You've deleted documents I saved in the shared folder, erased schedules I registered in the department app, and done various other harassments, haven't you? I didn't. You're lying. You don't have any proof. Show me if you do. Jade kept demanding proof, unaware she was tightening her own noose. Don't you know our company's computers require connecting to the internal network to access shared folders and apps? Of course I know that. I'm not stupid like you. Well, that's to track who accessed what, when, and where. So if we check, it'll be clear that you deleted my documents and schedules. What? No one told me that. Jade visibly panicked, her sudden pale complexion confirming her guilt. What have you done? Forgetting to cover his tracks, the manager shouted angrily. Fear and panic appeared on Jade's face. Oh no. I didn't do anything. Jade continued to claim innocence. The CEO was the one who ended the seemingly endless cycle. That's enough. We will conduct a thorough internal investigation on this matter. That's not true. I didn't do anything. Please believe me, sir. If you did nothing wrong, then you have nothing to worry about. In fact, this should prove your innocence. Jade fell silent. If they investigated, it would be clear she had been harassing me. She wanted to convince the CEO by any means. But when I say we will investigate, we will. This is final. Jade, you are on suspension until the investigation is complete. Do not come to the office. No way. Jade turned pale. For someone who took pride in her competence and career, this suspension was a severe blow. She tried to sway the manager with smooth talk and even clung to him, but the company didn't change its mind. The next day, despite being ordered to stay home, Jade showed up. However, the supervisor, informed by the manager, ordered her back home. When the manager arrived and saw Jade, he was furious. He told her if she didn't stay home, she would be fired, and she left in tears. After that, things were peaceful, like before Jade joined. My work progressed smoothly. I thought the day would end without issues, but it didn't. In the evening, the CEO, with a serious expression, summoned me to his office. Wondering what happened, I went. The manager was also there, grimly staring at the computer screen. The CEO gestured for me to look. I was shocked. The screen showed a meeting app with my brother and Jade on the other end. Mary, she says you sent her to see me. Is that true? What? Why would I send Jade to see you? I had no idea what was going on and was completely confused. My confusion must have shown, as my brother sighed deeply and began to explain. The explanation was headache-inducing. After being sent home that morning, Jade must have realized she was in serious trouble, so she headed straight to the airport. She thought if she could secure the contract with my brother's company, she'd be off the hook. She bypassed the contact person and directly requested a meeting with him. Hearing the company name and that a woman was there to see him, my brother assumed it was me, coming to apologize, and had her shown to his office. Being led into the CEO's office made Jade think she had a chance. She enthusiastically pitched her product to my brother, despite it being rejected the previous day for not meeting the company's needs. Then, as if that wasn't bad enough, when my brother tried to dismiss her, saying there was nothing more to discuss, she clung to his arm, completely misunderstanding. She pressed her chest against him. Jade tried to force the contract. That act finally made my brother furious, and he demanded, "Are you mocking me?" He called our CEO to complain. Of course, our CEO couldn't believe Jade, who had been put on leave, was at my brother's company the very next day. After switching to a video call and confirming Jade was indeed there, he was enraged. He called in the manager to ask what was going on, but the manager also couldn't understand how his subordinate, sent home that morning, ended up at my brother's company. Under intense questioning from 3 people, Jade, caught off guard, lied that I had ordered her to use her charm to secure the contract. I let out a big sigh. Why did Jade hate me so much? I couldn't think of a reason, but I needed to make my innocence clear. I understand the situation. Those claims are not true. In fact, yesterday, it was agreed that he would forgive us this time for Jade's outburst out of respect for the CEO and manager. Even if an apology visit was necessary, sending the offending person alone to secure the contract is out of the question. Demanding she secure the contract? That's absurd. Doing such a thing offers no benefit to our company, only disadvantages. That's true. However, given the repeated disrespect, I cannot simply let this go. My brother's words made the CEO, manager, and me all nod in agreement. We understood his position completely. Understood. What would you like us to do, President Walters? I addressed him as the CEO, not my brother, to show I understood this was a professional matter. My brother seemed to give a slight smile. Our company cannot continue business with an individual who has repeatedly caused issues, doesn't understand the problem, and shifts blame to others. Such a person is untrustworthy, both professionally and personally. Are you asking us to fire Jade? When I asked for clarification, my brother nodded slightly. Wait, please. Anything but that. Jade, who had been silent, suddenly cut in, realizing she couldn't let this happen. She's audacious to delegate everything. Her face had turned to ash. I was wrong. I apologize. I won't call you trash or mock you again. I won't delete your files or schedules daily, shred your mail and faxes before you see them, or unplug the phone while you're on a call. Please help me. You too, brother, right? Ask him to forgive me for your family's sake. That's selfish. Please continue. Why did she think I would help her after everything she had done? I felt only disdain, not sympathy. So I responded clearly, no. Even if I convinced him, it wouldn't matter. My brother doesn't have the authority to decide staffing here. The CEO, my uncle, did hold that authority, so perhaps the family plea might work, but I chose not to mention that. On the screen, Jade crumpled to the floor. Seeing her face full of despair gave me a small sense of satisfaction. Jade was picked up by the manager that same day. The CEO decided she might cause more trouble if left alone. Even after being told to go home the next day, Jade was terminated immediately, even before her probation period ended. It didn't end there. She was also sued for substantial damages by the company. Her harassment caused work disruptions and ruined deals. The contract with my brother's company would now be challenging to secure under the initial terms. Our company would have to make concessions on price and conditions to make up for the trouble. Even the travel expenses Jade incurred to visit my brother's company would be billed to her. Moreover, the CEO was so furious he intended to ensure Jade wouldn't be hired by any affiliated companies. But that won't be enough. The Estella Company Group, to which the CEO's company belongs, is a major conglomerate in various sectors, including food, fashion, telecommunications, and logistics. Finding a company in the country with no ties to Estella would be nearly impossible. Who would want to hire someone disliked by the founder's family? Jade would likely face a tough future, paying off a significant debt without being able to find decent work. As for me, I regained peace in my life after Jade left. Having my work recognized by my brother, whom I had always felt inferior to, boosted my confidence at work. Maybe this newfound confidence was noticeable because a long-time client remarked, "You were always reliable, but lately you seem more assured and dependable." My sales performance improved, and I was on track to achieve my best year yet. There were other positive changes as well. For the first time in a long while, I felt like visiting my family. I had avoided going home since starting my job due to my feelings of inadequacy compared to my brother. But this Thanksgiving Day, I felt it might be nice to spend time with my parents and brother. Recent events had made me feel that way. Would my family be pleased with my progress? Though my pace was slower than my brother's, I was still moving forward. With a mix of excitement and anxiety, I looked forward to the approaching Thanksgiving Day holiday.